When people think of tornadoes, they usually think of the Great Plains. Tornado Alley is responsible for the overwhelming majority of tornadoes in the United States every year. This is closely followed by the lesser known, lesser talked about Dixie Alley in the southeast United States. But there is one state in 2024 that took meteorologists, storm chasers, and weather enthusiasts by surprise. Ohio is no stranger to tornadoes. The state usually experiences episodes of severe weather from April to August, sometimes even earlier or even later. But overall, severe weather in Ohio is pretty tame compared to other regions of the United States. On average, Ohio only gets around 19 tornadoes per year. However, it's no stranger to strong or even violent tornadoes. Most notably the F5 that struck Xenia on April 3, 1974. And more recently, an EF4 that impacted the suburbs of Dayton in 2019. But compare this to the states in the Great Plains and the Southeast, and Ohio hardly holds a candle to the number of tornadoes they experience. On paper, Ohio is not a very interesting place in terms of severe weather, but Mother Nature had different ideas in 2024. As of the creation of this video, the official tornado count for Ohio in 2024 is 74 tornadoes, almost quadruple its yearly average. This number smashed the previous record of 63 tornadoes held since 1992. But what caused something like this to happen? In this video, we'll aim to answer why as we dive into the many events from February to August that drove up Ohio's tornado count. Let's dive into Ohio's historic tornado season. About 7 to 10 days in advance, weather models flagged a potential threat for severe weather between February 27th to March 3rd. They showed strong agreement on a deep trough settling over the Midwest. This pattern, combined with an unusually warm February and steady flow of moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, set the stage for a powerful system. A sharp temperature contrast, as well as a baroclinic zone, were also evident across the region. Severe weather seemed likely. On February 27th, the Storm Prediction Center issued a broad slight risk for severe storms from the Great Lakes down to the Ohio Valley. By midday, this was upgraded to 2 distinct enhanced risk zones. One in northern Illinois, tied to a tornado threat near the surface low, and another spanning from southwest Ohio, southern Indiana, and to northwest Kentucky along the Ohio River. The deep trough fueled a low-pressure system centered in Illinois, with a warm front stretching east into Indiana and a cold front trailing south through central Illinois and western Kentucky. While daytime storm risks initially drew focus in Illinois, signs of nighttime trouble emerged in southwest Ohio as the system intensified over the Great Lakes. Overnight, warm temperatures and high humidity lingered, paired with strengthening wind shear, priming the atmosphere for severe weather. By 4 a.m. on the 28th, the low had deepened significantly and shifted to central Michigan, with the cold front nearing western Ohio. Around 12:30 a.m. Eastern, a storm complex formed along the cold front in eastern Illinois, marching into Indiana with damaging winds. A tornado watch spanned Illinois to Ohio until 6 a.m. By 2 a.m., the storms morphed into a linear band, sweeping through Indiana. Reaching Ohio by 4 a.m., the complex held strong, fueled by warm air, plentiful moisture, and instability higher in the atmosphere, continuing to unleash destructive winds. The environment in Ohio shifted rapidly, raising the concern for tornadoes. The SPC issued a new tornado watch at 4:40 a.m. as temperatures in Columbus skyrocketed from 59 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, with winds shifting southerly. The cold front's strong push, combined with fast upper-level winds, tapped into the surface instability and altered wind direction, allowing the storm complex to take on supercellular traits. At 4:37 a.m., the first tornado touched down near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton. Afterwards, the complex would continue into the Columbus metro. Thankfully, nobody was injured. However, these tornadoes did do some minor damage.
Easily some of the worst tree damage I've seen in the path of this sucker. Man.
The events of February 27th were significant, but they are nothing more than a sign of the things to come. Just 2 weeks later, a much more significant day would impact Ohio.
Welcome back. We are learning new details about the EF3 tornado that killed 3 people in Logan County last week. The National Weather Service says that tornado was on the ground for more than 45 minutes.
The National Weather Service confirmed 8 tornadoes hit Ohio, including one that killed at least 3 people in Logan County last night.
It sounded like freight trains, several of them.
The damage in the popular Indian Lake community is extensive.
Initially, March 14th wasn't expected to stand out in Ohio or the Great Lakes. Attention was focused farther west on the eastern plains and the Missouri-Arkansas region, where a much stronger storm system was forecast to bring severe weather. In contrast, Ohio was only expected to see a weaker disturbance, possibly triggering morning and afternoon storms, but nothing major. The Storm Prediction Center started the day with an enhanced risk for severe storms in eastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, and southern Missouri, while a broader slight risk stretched from western Ohio through Indiana, Illinois, and down to central Texas. The forecast hinted at greater potential but flagged uncertainties. Morning storms disrupting instability, system strength, and how well the atmosphere could recover were all question marks. By midday, the outlook expanded to include southern Indiana and Ohio. A wide low-pressure system sat near southern Lake Michigan, with a warm front reaching toward Lake Erie and a cold front angled northeast to southwest across Illinois. A 5% tornado risk was introduced in western Ohio and central Indiana, but it was labeled conditional depending on how the day would unfold. Morning storms often leave behind stable air, which can stifle later storm development. The atmosphere would need time to recover from this in order for a more significant threat to unfold. Between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern, elevated storms swept through the region, stabilizing the air with some subsidence. But the disturbance near Lake Michigan turned out to be stronger than forecast. Clearing skies and a surge of warm, moist air into Indiana and western Ohio eroded the cool air aloft, allowing cumulus clouds to develop. Surface temperatures climbed into the low to mid-70s, with dew points reaching into the 60s, driven by southerly winds from a secondary low near the Michigan border. This sparked a fast atmospheric recovery. By 2:45 p.m., satellite imagery showed growing cumulus fields and convective rolls. A boundary from the morning storms lingered across central Indiana. Morning storms can leave behind boundaries like these, which can serve as focal points for storm development in the absence of a surface front. At 4:36 p.m., the SPC highlighted this zone for development. Shortly after, supercells began forming on and south of this boundary in central Indiana. A tornado watch was issued at 5:15 p.m. for central Indiana, northern and western Ohio. The supercells grew more organized as they neared the Indiana-Ohio border. The first tornado would touch down near the state line at 6:40 p.m. A tornado outbreak was about to unfold.
Look at this. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Right underneath this thing. See the convective nature to the base. It is still raining.
Punching it.
Yeah, there it is. That's a tornado, 100%. Huge motion. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, I got to keep going. You see that's turning into a big tornado right there.
That's what I hear on the radio.
Woo, it's right there. Wow. Crazy motion on it. Insane.
Oh my gosh.
It's still trying. It's still trying. There's a weak funnel in there. ground right now.
Oh my God. That's a huge tornado. That is a huge tornado. Wow! Oh my God!
Oh.
Storms continued to produce tornadoes well into central and east Ohio, but the worst had finally passed. However, devastation was left in its wake.
We have tornado damage just south of Plymouth, Ohio. Let's get a picture here. Very clearly tornado damage here southwest of Plymouth, Ohio. There is debris scattered everywhere. There's power poles down. I mean, there is very clearly a tornado went through this area.
This is a CMU foundation flipped over on its side. This is Lakeview, Ohio. Same tornado as Russell's Point. It's flipped on its side. I've never seen anything like this before. And everything around us is just trashed, man. Sirens bent over. You can see the tornado siren out there. Bent over. And all the trees are just torn up. Everything is trashed.
I would be cleaning up.
The Wapakoneta tornado would be rated an EF3 with winds of 155 miles per hour. It would claim 3 lives. Just a few weeks after the events of March 14th, weather models in the Storm Prediction Center highlighted yet another system several days out. 2 disturbances at 500 millibars were forecast to interact near Lake Michigan, spinning up a strong low-pressure system. Morning storms from the previous day's setup were forecast to be in play. Noted as early as the Day 3 outlook. Confidence grew rapidly, and an enhanced risk was issued for the Ohio Valley on day 3. By day 2, convective allowing models showed morning storms fading very quickly, paired with a deepening low, plentiful moisture, and significant wind shear. The message was clear. The potential for strong or even violent tornadoes was rising. This led to a rare, moderate risk upgrade by the midday on day 2, covering most of Ohio. While storm mode and instability were still in question, data hinted at clusters of supercells thriving in a wind shear-rich environment ripe for significant tornadoes. From there, the first storms rolled in overnight into early morning as expected. On the day of, the SPC stuck with the moderate risk for strong tornadoes and severe weather as morning storms crossed the region. However, massive uncertainty loomed. How strong would the morning storms be? And could the atmosphere recover in time? Still, the large-scale setup and intensifying system kept forecasters on their toes. Early storms formed a strong quasi-linear convective system, or QLCS, which is an organized line of storms, and this kicked off tornadoes across southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, and parts of West Virginia. By midday, the SPC's update held the moderate risk, but noted that the morning storms were stronger and more widespread than expected. This clogged the northward flow of moist air needed for instability, while a new batch of showers and storms from late morning to mid-afternoon kept clouds lingering. Surface heating was greatly mitigated, wind shear lessened, and warmer air aloft was cut off from helping storms stay isolated. A tornado watch was issued at 3:45 p.m. Clearing finally began occurring by mid-afternoon, letting just enough heat and moisture sneak north to spark storms along the cold front. But the storms started out messy and stayed that way all across Ohio, despite efforts by the atmosphere to recover. A few weak tornadoes and other severe weather did occur, but the QLCS from earlier stole the show, producing most of the day's tornadoes. The main afternoon event fizzled out, falling short of the big tornado potential forecast earlier. For chasers, the day was considered a bust, but for everybody else, it was a dodged bullet. However, just under a week later, Ohioans and people across the nation got to experience a different kind of phenomenon. May 7th was quickly shaping up to be a busy severe weather day across the Great Lakes. A powerful upper-level system was rolling in, dragging a developing surface low and strong jet streak near Lake Michigan. What started as a broad slight risk a few days out tightened into a more focused enhanced risk by the day of, with a 10% hatch tornado risk spanning Indiana, Ohio, and southern Michigan. A regional tornado outbreak seemed possible. However, morning showers and thunderstorms stirred up uncertainty again. How much could the atmosphere recover, and how severe would storms get? Despite this, the Storm Prediction Center stood by its outlook. As the day unfolded, a significant low-pressure system took shape in northern Illinois, pushing a warm front through southern Michigan and a sturdy cold front across central Illinois. Unlike April 2nd, morning storms didn't leave much cloud cover or subsidence behind, clearing the way for sunshine from southern Michigan through most of Indiana and western Ohio. The SPC doubled down, forecasting numerous supercells with a chance for strong tornadoes. A surge of warm, moist air flooded Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, wiping out cold air aloft, and led to the development of cumulus clouds. Instability skyrocketed, with up to 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. Surface temperatures hit the upper 70s, and dew points climbed to 65 to 70 degrees, fueled by a warm southwesterly flow. Storms fired early near the low in the Chicago area, morphing into supercells and producing tornadoes along the warm front in southern Michigan. Meanwhile, a second batch of supercells popped up ahead of the cold front in eastern Illinois and western Indiana. Tornado watches were quickly issued across the Great Lakes almost simultaneously. The southern Michigan storms churned out tornadoes quickly, but the Indiana storms initially struggled, hampered by slightly veering winds on the warm sector. Eventually, a string of 6 supercells took off, racing towards more backed winds near the Ohio state line. As the evening settled in, a tornado outbreak began to unfold.
Might be ongoing, we cannot get visual, but right back there, that is feeding in crazy. Oh yeah, I just saw that rogue hailstone. Wow, look at that hail. Yeah. This is a piss. Dude, look at the inflow on the right side right there. Wow.
That inflow. The storm's gonna do it. It's gonna be right there.
It's really close.
Inflow is just churning in right now.
Yeah, look at the big lowering back there actually.
I see it. Rate's picking up. It's wearing. It must have just gotten a huge RFD surge.
We have to be right in that thing to see it. Yeah, it's about time. Okay, yeah, time to go.
Right there. All right, now stop. Go up here and stop. Nice, stop. You can stop right here. There it is. There it is. It's on the ground. There it is. It's right there in the middle.
assume it might be down right now.
Yeah, this is bad. Go into your basement right now! Tornado on the ground, 1 mile! Get inside! Take shelter! Get inside! Take shelter!
There's the police.
Hey, where's 502 at? East, good.
Alright.
Oh my God, we need to go.
What's happening? Is it down?
It's right behind us. Get inside! Get inside! Go inside right now! Get inside! Go inside! That guy right there. That guy right there.
No, go straight.
Get inside! Get inside!
Oh, I thought you meant the road.
It's that whole thing. I don't know, but you see the edge? It's that whole thing. It looks like it. It really looks like it. It's coming at us. I think it's right there. Yeah. I will. Look at that wind. Drive. Straight. No. Just keep going. Yeah, just keep going straight. I can't see. Just keep going straight. We're almost in the clear. That's the RFD.
Storms finally began to wither out into the night. May 7th ended up having Ohio's highest tornado count for the year at 19 tornadoes. Despite this count, it was thankfully a far less destructive and deadly day than March 14th. No fatalities or major damage occurred during this outbreak. At this point, Mother Nature took her fury out to the plains for the remainder of May. Ohio remained relatively quiet, but alongside most of the United States, Ohio did experience a different kind of storm on May 10th. After May, Ohio would enter an abnormally quiet summer for severe weather, but one localized day did stand out in early June. June 5th is a great example of why storm chasers and spotters are so important. This tornado went unwarned until it was reported by chaser Connor Michael. Radar can't always give us enough confidence to issue a warning. Ground truth is one of the most vital things needed on any severe weather day. Following this event, Ohio would see an incredibly inactive summer for severe storms and entered into a historic drought. But severe weather would return in early August. While storms in the main area of concern didn't do much on August 6th, they did go on to produce several tornadoes in the eastern half of the state. Less than a week later, Mother Nature would show off her more gentle side. Things finally began to calm down for Ohio after August. A couple more low-end severe days would occur before the year's end, but nothing noteworthy. So what caused Ohio to have so many tornadoes in 2024? Was it just random chance, or perhaps something more explainable? To wrap things up, let's have meteorologist Getty Davis break down the science behind this historic year.
The 2024 tornado season was one of the most dramatic in recent memory for the state of Ohio. Multiple outbreak days with numerous tornadoes, some strong and violent, others occurring at unusual times of day or times of year, and all inflicting notable damage in the areas that they struck. My name is Getty Davis. I'm a meteorologist currently working at Ohio State University, and I want to discuss why this season in particular was so productive for tornadoes, for both Ohio and the larger United States. A total of 74 tornadoes were confirmed in Ohio over the course of the year, the most tornadoes ever experienced in a single year for the state of all time. This broke the state's previous all-time record of 62 tornadoes set back in 1992 by a sizable margin. To understand just how unusual this is, it's worth noting that currently, Ohio only averages around 22 tornadoes per year. While tornadoes in the state are certainly not uncommon over the course of severe weather season, this season in particular is something that Ohio has never seen before in modern record keeping. This new state record was set within an active tornado season for the United States as a whole. 1,759 tornadoes were confirmed nationwide in the preliminary annual tornado summary produced for 2024 by the Storm Prediction Center. As it stands, 2024 would be the second most active tornado year ever in the United States, only trailing 2004, during which 1,817 tornadoes occurred. Why was this season so active, especially in Ohio? Let's examine a few factors that may have contributed to a roaring season for severe weather. There are numerous natural global-scale processes that influence the weather in the United States and here in Ohio. One of the most well-known of these phenomena is ENSO, or the El Niño Southern Oscillation. ENSO is a recurring natural climate pattern based on the difference from average of ocean temperatures in the central and eastern Pacific Ocean, just north of the equator. In order to streamline the process of measuring these differences from average, as well as determining the magnitude of warmer or cooler than average, atmospheric scientists at NOAA's Climate Prediction Center use the Oceanic Niño Index, or ONI. The ONI tracks the running 3-month average of sea surface temperatures in the East Central Pacific region and whether or not they are warmer or cooler than average. This average of sea surface temperatures determines which of the 3 phases of ENSO are occurring. The 3 phases go as follows. There's El Niño, where waters in the Eastern Pacific are warmer than average, and the ONI is positive, greater than half a degree Celsius. There's La Niña, where waters in the Eastern Pacific are cooler than average, and the ONI is negative, coming in at less than minus half a degree Celsius. And then there's the neutral phase, where average or mixed temperature differences exist in the Eastern Pacific. The ONI in this mode ranges between positive 0.5 degrees Celsius and negative 0.5 degrees Celsius. These phases have a notable effect on weather in the United States in the winter and spring by influencing the orientation of jet streams, fast currents of air traveling along Earth's middle latitudes. An El Niño causes a stronger southern jet stream, leading to stormy conditions in the southern U.S. and warmer than normal conditions in the northern U.S., as seen on the left. A La Niña causes a stronger polar jet stream, which keeps the northern U.S. colder and stormier than normal, and the southern U.S. drier than normal. Finally, a neutral ENSO mode causes a variable jet stream that leads to typical winter conditions across the U.S., including interacting warmer and cooler air masses that lead to a stormy middle third of the country. Each ENSO mode and cycle is a little bit different from year to year, but in general, this is the rule of thumb of what to expect for each mode. So, what happened with ENSO in 2024? This year was notable because ENSO changed modes during the progression of winter and spring. Early 2024 started out in El Niño, as shown by the positive red numbers coming in well above half a degree Celsius. However, by the time we got further into 2024, into the April, May, and June periods, we can see that those numbers dipped below that half a degree Celsius threshold and into the neutral phase. This means that the jet stream gradually transitioned from a more extended southerly position associated with El Niño to a much more variable central position associated with ENSO neutral. Numerous meteorologists and atmospheric scientists have worked to determine how much of an impact ENSO has on early season severe weather and tornado outbreaks in the U.S. This example by Cook et al. In 2017 worked to perform gridded tornado counts across the central and southeastern U.S. for the different ENSO modes and compare them to see which one is the most productive. However, research preceding this by Lee et al. In 2016 suggests that while each ENSO mode is important on its own, when ENSO progresses between modes in the winter and spring, there are notable connections to the intensity and placement of severe storms. Since this is what happened in 2024, let's apply this research method. With a transition from El Niño to neutral, this early terminating El Niño figure from Lee et al. Describes the changes seen in 2024 pretty accurately. For an early terminating El Niño, severe weather impacts experience a statistically significant uptick in and around the Midwest as the jet stream transitions to a more centralized position. This progression starts to appear in the Ohio Valley in southern Indiana in February, spreading southwest in March, continuing to spread westward in April, including parts of the southern and central plains, before finally settling in the Midwest in May. While Ohio is downstream of the highest correlations, it's important to remember that storms typically move from west to east thanks to the jet stream, leaving Ohio open to being impacted by events from the plains and Midwest, usually within 24 to 72 hours. It's this change in jet stream positioning and timing of system passage that is one possible explanation for an uptick in severe weather activity. In addition to ENSO, sea surface temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico are also believed to contribute to severe weather activity in the U.S. The Gulf region is the largest source of moisture in the country, and sea surface temperatures in this region can serve as an indicator for favorable atmospheric moisture transport due to basic molecular properties. Warmer water molecules have a higher rate of evaporation than colder ones, due to the large amounts of energy warm water molecules contain. You can observe this by boiling a pot of water on your stove and watching it progressively start to bubble and steam and boil. When topped by an equally warm atmosphere, warm water molecules can quickly break off from liquid water and evaporate into water vapor, which can then be transported across the country by jet streams and atmospheric winds. Research by Molina et al. In 2016 suggests that when Gulf temperatures are warmer than normal, more moisture and available potential energy for thunderstorms advects directly into the U.S. The reverse is true for when temperatures are cooler than normal in the Gulf. This tendency for moisture and available potential energy to enter the U.S. often slows down or even shuts off completely when temperatures are cooler than normal in this region. Temperatures in the Gulf in 2024 started out around or slightly above average, but as the months progressed into March and then into April, we can see that consistently warmer than average sea surface temperatures firmly solidified themselves in the Gulf, potentially contributing to increased moisture transport into the U.S. and an increase in potential energy for thunderstorms. Note in Figure 2 and Figure 3 just how far north these plumes of humidity and atmospheric instability can get when Gulf sea surface temperatures are warmer than average. In Figure 2b and 3b, you can see that these plumes can reach as far north as the Great Lakes, Northeast, and parts of the High Plains. Coupled with the ENSO transition, this may have been a driving factor in a number of unusually warm and humid air masses that traversed through the Great Lakes region. This applies specifically in February and March, when the first two notable outbreaks occurred in Ohio. While it's important to remember that availability of moisture is not a direct cause of outbreak events, this mechanism is further supported by research such as in Cook et al. 2017, as showing signs of being important to seasonable thunderstorm variability, both during and independent of ENSO years. It's important to note again that while ENSO and sea surface temperature patterns can help us anticipate seasonal severe weather, these two things are not direct causes of tornadoes or other severe weather episodes. Severe weather relies on a multitude of variables, such as surface moisture, wind shear, land surface temperature, differences in temperature aloft, amounts of cloud cover, and additional local factors, such as terrain and prior weather conditions. All of these things are controls for severe weather and tornadoes. Look at all the variables, for example, that go into this diagram of a supercell thunderstorm on the bottom right, or in this example of a skew-T sounding in the top left. Additionally, though many storm systems that moved through Ohio this year shared similarities, most of them also had significant differences that are also disconnected from the two main processes that we discussed. For example, let's look at surface weather maps of the main four severe weather events in Ohio: February 28th, March 14th, April 2nd, and May 8th. You may notice that there are actually several similarities, such as the position of the low pressure center, which is indicated by the big red L, near or around Lake Michigan or southern Michigan, the position of the warm fronts, indicated by the red line in southern Michigan and northern Ohio, and the position of the cold fronts, indicated in blue, usually in western Indiana or central Illinois. However, there are many different local variables, such as the orientation of the wind direction, magnitude of wind speed, and the amount of surface moisture available that led to tornadoes happening in some areas of the state and not in others. Additionally, the atmospheric structure of these storms was different each day. These are 500 millibar charts, which help us analyze the jet stream in more detail, and you'll notice that the jet stream in each of these has different shapes and sizes. You will notice, however, hints of the ENSO neutral transition, with positioning occurring roughly in the middle third of the country. However, the jet stream speeds and orientations are all very different. I want to thank Trey Greenwood, who runs the YouTube channel Trevective Chronicles. A lot of this analysis was based off of analysis that he does on his channel, including tornado season forecasts, guides to weather maps, and case studies of individual weather events. This channel is definitely worth a follow, so if you're interested in learning more about any of the things that we just talked about, feel free to check him out. All of the research sources used in this part of the video are listed here, as well as in the YouTube description. What will 2025 hold for severe weather in Ohio? It's still hard to say at this point, but you can count on many of the chasers in this video being active once again as we move into another severe weather season.
My name is Jack Burt, and
I'm
this
Tammy.
is my wife, Tammy Burt. That day
About
we went to
seven.
to the Mexican restaurant
Yep.
over.
Walpock. I
I
can't
don't
think
even
of the
know what
name.
it's called over there.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
I don't know. We went over there and it was pretty dark,
Yep.
but no sirens or nothing going on.
No.
And
Then it started raining.
yeah, it
then-
started raining. We got our food, and then as soon as we got our food, the
Sirens went off on our
went
phone.
We hurried up and ate our food.
Yep.
Yep. Hurried up and ate our food.
Took off.
And raced back. And at the same time, JJ was calling us,
Yeah.
saying there's a tornado on the way.
Yeah. So we come home, pick them up. We were sitting on the back porch for about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And we was listening to YouTube, Ryan, and then we seen the tornado back there
Yeah,
coming.
as soon as I seen and heard him say it was a mile outside of Santa Fe, that's when I looked
Yes.
up and I seen the tornado above the trees. And we
Got everybody
we
in the
got
vehicle.
everybody and got the dog and cat, and we took off. And it was like we was in the tornado when we
Yeah,
left,
the wind.
because it felt like it was tipping our Yukon.
Yes.
All the way down this road, down 83, and then on 720.
Yep.
Once we got on 235,
It wasn't too bad. It was
it
still
was
raining.
bad, but it wasn't really rocking our
Yeah.
Yukon.
And then we pulled up.
We went
Saucy
clear
Sal's.
to Saucy Sal's, clear
sit
down
there.
235, and
Yep.
sat there for.
Maybe a half hour or so.
Yeah, and then we went back to the Indian Lake School.
Yep. Sit there for half hour, and
Yep.
it was still storming. And then we come back here, pulled in the driveway, and noticed the shop.
Noticed everything was
Just
it was
destructed.
everything was gone.
Yes.
Everything. The first thing we noticed when coming back
Shipping container.
was our 40-foot shipping container, probably a quarter mile down the road.
Yeah.
It had, you could see the indentation marks as it rolled all the way across the cornfield, took out 2 telephone poles,
Yep.
and landed in the middle of the field across the street.
So we had no electricity at all. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have electric till the next day. They actually got that on pretty quick.
Yes. Yeah.
It came on probably 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah. But we pulled in the driveway. We couldn't even hardly pull in the driveway.
No, because there was so much stuff in the driveway. Greenhouse and the
Yeah.
shed and everything just tore up. Because we had a shed out here and a greenhouse there, and then your shop, and then our son's tiny house. It was flipped over in the backyard. So everything was just kind of went that way, towards that way.
We had a windmill
Oh, yeah.
over here where the pump house is.
Yes.
And it pretzeled it all the way down
Yeah.
and on top of my truck. Then we walked in here, I remember, and it was just, there was nothing. The only thing standing was that wall in the office.
Yes.
The rest of it was just down. The company we hired to build this shop and fix the home, it took them probably about a month and a half before they could get out here,
Yeah.
because they was on other things, But when they started here, they didn't leave till it was done.
Yep.
So they did pretty good.
We got
And it was a
started back
long
up.
time recovering. I mean,
Yeah, still recovering.
man, we lost so much.
Yeah.
That shipping container had all kinds of stuff in it.
Yeah.
We had a building, a shed behind here.
Lost it.
It was gone.
Then
What
the
else?
greenhouse.
Oh, and the brand new greenhouse, I just hand built that. Gone.
Yeah.
The fence gone. The whole back end of our garage at the house was gone.
Yeah.
It took shingles. It didn't break a window though.
No.
Oh well.
Well, the garage windows on that
Yeah,
side.
I guess it
Yeah.
did. And I had my show car. It was a '65 old 442.
It was in the front.
It had a late model LSA engine in it. That was my baby, and it got beat up.
Yeah.
Garage door was on top of it. Yeah, the one garage door was on top of that. And then there was another garage door that somehow made it through this way
To the back porch.
to the back porch back here and underneath of our hot tub.
Yeah. Not sure how that did it, but.
Then a friend of mine let me use his skid loader the whole 5 months too.
Yeah.
And so we used that
Cleaned up everything.
practically every day. And then another friend let me use his dump truck. So
Yeah.
I probably took a total of 50 truckloads
Yeah.
to the dump sites uptown.
Uptown
Easy.
there, Lakeview.
Yeah. And we helped out the farmers too.
Yep.
With the fields.
Yes.
You
All the
know,
fields
not just
had-
our stuff.
Yeah, their
Wherever,
stuff
whatever
everywhere.
that tornado picked up
Yeah.
was in these fields here. So
we all picked that
we
up.
helped them. Then we helped another friend of mine. He owns the car wash uptown
yeah.
in Lakeview. We helped him.
Because it was bad.
We helped him do a few things at the car wash and pick up around his land. He's the one that let me use his dump truck. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we're alive.
That pretty much covers it.
Yes.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just glad to be alive.
I'm missing a lot of things that I can't remember probably. It was crazy. It really
Yeah.
was. It was just
Yep.
we lost so many trees.
Yeah, we did lose a lot
We
of
had
trees.
massive trees around
Yeah.
here.
It just big ones,
Gone or laid
big
over.
trees.
Yeah.
That would just pulled it right up out of the ground.
It did, yeah.
And
Well,
our
in fact,
his sign.
where, my
Birch sign.
my Bert's Auto Service sign actually
Went in that woods
blew
over there.
away, and our friend owns them woods over there, and we found part of it over
Yep.
there.
So we're gonna hang it up.
Yeah, I was going to
Reminder.
hang it up in here sometime, and our garden out there is where our biggest trees at.
Yeah.
Was at.
Was that?
Has this event changed your outlook on the weather at all?
And more than you know.
Yes. I keep my eyes in the sky now. I always pay attention to the weather and the radars. Never used to until now. Yep.
I'm in denial.
Yes.
Because it's not.
'Cause
I'm in
it's-
denial. I don't think it's going to happen here again.
It can.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
It's happened in Walpark.
I think if it does come this way, it's going to be, not in the direct path it took.
I don't believe that.
I do. I'm a firm believer. I'm not going to let. Yeah.
After the tornado.
I'm not going to let it happen again.
So after the tornado, we had another
couple
couple more
other
scares.
yeah.
And I kept on telling him, we gotta go.
You had to prime
He
it
laid
up.
on the couch.
I
I was like, let's go now. And it was scary because it did come,
It
there
was
was
north.
bad, it was
It was a
north.
small
I
one,
think it
but
went to Kenton or something, but he wouldn't budge. I was like, we're leaving now.
And we did.
If we don't, you're staying here, I'm leaving, because it was scary. Yeah, it makes you nervous now, since we went through it.
But our eyes
Yeah.
are always in the sky looking.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Always.
A little rainstorm or anything.
Yep.
Yep.
Even the wind was just.
Yeah, the wind's really bad
crazy
out here.
because it's so flat.
Yes.
So.
We're pretty much a year
Yep.
since that tornado happened. Is there any way that people watching this can help the communities of Lakeview and Russell's Point and any of the people that were in the path of this tornado?
The only way I know is to donate.
Yeah,
If
to
they
help
wanted
people
to
out more, but
donate,
yeah,
There's a lot. There's still
still a lot of people that hasn't fixed their homes and
Oh yeah,
stuff
there's
due
still
to the
there's still that.
no insurance and
Well, there's still charities out there that's
Oh, yeah.
taking donations
Yeah.
for this tornado.
yeah. No, I
But
think I think
you know-
Lakeview did pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of help uptown too.
There was everybody
Yep.
pulled together.
Yep.
Pulled together really good. I
For
thought.
a
we
little
had
town,
a lot of
you
people
know.
out here helping us.
Oh yeah,
People we didn't
strangers
even know.
from Columbus. We didn't
yeah.
even know. They just seen us working out in the
Yep.
yard, and they come and helped us clean for that day. Didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know who they were. So
And that was right after. That was like
The next day.
That was that.
yeah,
That on the next few days.
Yes.
Afterwards.
a lot of
they
people come out
here.
and helped us.
A lot
that
of
we
my
didn't
friends
even
come
know.
out with chainsaws.
Yep.
For sure.
Yes.
My brothers.
I can't remember the name.
Indian Lake tornado fund.
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was called though.
And we can probably find
Yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff.
For sure,
But
it's
yeah,
just
as long as
called
everybody
Indian-
helps
the
everybody out
Indian
when
Lake
something like
Tornado
this
Fund.
happens, and it seemed like this community did that. People come from everywhere helping out, especially uptown and stuff. So, yep.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yes, you're
so
welcome.
much. That,
Yep.
I mean, that's given us more than we need.
Yes.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you. Nervous.
Never been on camera before.
Right.
I'm Tyson. This is my brother, Jack.
Yep, Jack Burt Jr. or Jack Leonard Burt online. JJ is my nickname.
And the day of, I'm pretty sure we were chilling in your tiny house, and
Yeah.
we were cooking
Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy Joe. Yeah, Sloppy Joe.
I don't really remember much beforehand. I mean, do you remember like what you did before you entered the tiny home to get dinner? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't really recall it. I just remember you were packing up like.
Because it was a work day. Was it a work day?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was
Tuesday?
during the week.
Okay.
But I just remember I didn't take it as serious. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Sure.
Like JJ, he was packing all up and everything, and I don't know, I went inside and I just didn't really think. I was looking out the window a little bit, and I didn't believe it because I've never had it. I've never seen a tornado. Never been in a tornado. Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, I told him that we were gonna eat some type of dinner. I was gonna cook for him and everything. So I was gonna cook some sloppy Joe. So we were cooking sloppy Joe, and then the weather just started getting pretty bad, like to the point where I don't know. It started getting to the point where I was going outside. Do you remember I like hitched up the solar panels down again?
Yeah, you had a ratchet strap down, like.
Yeah. Yep. I had a ratchet strap them down, and that's when I went back inside, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna get. It was already getting pretty intense, so I remember going on YouTube and typing in like Ohio weather live, just something general, and that's when I discovered Ryan Hall, and he was live, and he was doing all the tornadoes and everything, and then at that point we were eating our sloppy Joe, and then just watching him for I don't know, at least like an hour, right?
Yeah, good while, and then that's when I'm pretty sure you said there was like a good amount of tornadoes picking up, and it just you started taking it more serious, and then Mom and Dad, they were
because they told us that they were at the Mexican restaurant in Lakeview.
Yeah,
we didn't know that they went to Walpock. I had no idea. I don't know if you did or what.
Yeah, we thought because we have another Mexican restaurant like here locally. We thought they were really close, but they're actually about an hour away. So.
Yeah, we had no idea. So I texted them. I was like, hey, it looks like there's going to be a tornado or a storm pretty close. Like it looks like it's in Walpock, and then they were like, oh, we're in Walpock. We're coming back home. And then I looked at Tyson. I was just like, man, I think there's a tornado coming. I'm being serious. I think you need to go inside and pack a bag or something. I was like, because it's coming right for us.
And I didn't really pack nothing because again I didn't think nothing was gonna happen. Yep. I mean, the only thing I really thought of packing was my PlayStation, something like that. I don't know, just something quick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now for me, I have a tiny house. It's 240 square foot at the time, so I pretty much packed every major thing.
Your whole Jeep was full.
I mean,
you had everything
to the brim.
He was prepared.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, if this thing is gonna come and take my house that I cannot move, I can't do anything. I don't want it to take my Jeep and like some of my belongings. So I packed up everything that I could possibly put in that Jeep. Just anything you can think of, like my PC, just everything that was important to me that I could replace, but it'd be pretty expensive. So.
And then, so pretty much to the point where Mom and Dad got home, it just seemed like it wasn't even 5 minutes, not even a couple minutes. JJ, he was already pulled up, and it got to the point where he said, you saw the tornado?
Well, it started getting
Really
we
rainy.
were underneath that balcony underneath there, and the whole family was underneath that balcony, and we were looking outside. It was dark, like lightning was going over. But I remember handing Dad my phone and saying, "Here, watch this guy." He had no idea who Ryan Hall was or anything, so I was like, "Watch this guy because I'm pretty sure there's a tornado." So I pulled it up on his phone. He was watching it. I went out by the tiny house and I went live because I wanted to document it and see what was going on. That's just what I do. I make content and everything. So I went out there and went live. I had people watching me, telling me, pack your stuff and get it going or go in the basement or whatever. But around here we don't have basements just because of the water level. I mean, a lot of them don't here, so the only option is to pack up and leave, or hopefully
hunker down in your bathtub.
Exactly.
Something wherever you can.
And I've always been a firm believer. I don't care if I even had a basement, unless it was too close to where I couldn't get in my vehicle. I've always told myself I would take off. And that's what we did. So
I couldn't imagine staying in the house. The sound, I don't know. When we were taking off in the car, it sounded like we were in the tornado. Being actually in the tornado would, I don't know.
Yeah, the one thing I remember is when I was out there filming content, I probably shouldn't be doing it, but I was just kind of mesmerized, but also, if the tornado wasn't coming for us, there was no reason to flee. I didn't want to go into the path of the tornado because I wanted to make sure that it was actually coming for us. So we stayed there for as long as we possibly could until, okay, we're 100% sure that we need to take off and go somewhere else. So I was filming it, and I remember the sky lighting up green. I mean, just vividly lighting up green.
Never seen a sky like that before, ever.
And lightning
It
was
wicked.
Striking, I wouldn't say near me. I mean, it felt like it was right over my head. I mean, it was
you could just feel the rumble.
Yep.
In the atmosphere.
And it was getting so intense that I was like, okay, I need to go back inside because I might actually get hit by these lightning strikes. And it was green, black. I mean, the sirens were going off. It was time to get into the vehicles, and I was like, all right, guys. I remember coming back to my mom and dad, and I was like, we need to go now. And I told them, I was like, get animals, get everything. I'm getting in my Jeep. Let's go to DeGraff. So
you take off, and then we get the animals.
Well, I waited. I remember waiting at the very end of the driveway, and I'm ready to go. I'm packed up. I'm stressing out because I'm I see them in their house moving back and forth, just getting the cats and dogs and everything. And I'm looking at my rearview mirror, and the light sky is lightening up, and then I'm seeing that tornado every 3 seconds because it's black, dark. It's rain wrapped. You can't see nothing.
You only see it when the lightning strikes.
Exactly. And I was just like, man, I don't want to leave them, but I have to. I have to be safe. I don't want to just stay here and end up dying or whatever. So I see them getting into their car. I was like, okay, at least they're getting in their car. And then it was getting to the point where the tornado was getting so close. I was like, I gotta go now. So I turned out of the driveway, and I took off this way about 60, 70 mile an hour in a 2001 Jeep Cherokee. So that thing was pegged to the floor.
And then when we took off, I feel like it was right on our tail, because it got to the point where Mom could not even see out her window, and I don't know, I was just getting paranoid that we were going to wreck from not being able to even see. It was just, I don't even know how fast were you going?
Probably between 45 and 55.
50?
Yeah.
I don't know, it was scary.
Yeah, I mean, because at the point where because there was a stop sign right there, obviously we were blown right through it and everything. I mean, I was trying to watch out for cars hitting me and everything, but I was probably going 60, 70 mile an hour, and I just remember the winds and the debris and just the rain was covering my windshield to the point where I didn't know if I was on the road or about to hit a telephone pole or anything. And then, you know, I got a 4-inch lift on that Jeep, so it's not the best for storms. And I mean, the wind got right underneath of it. It felt like it was, you know, lifting up and everything. And I just knew that there was 2 stop signs. I had to wait for another stop sign, then I could turn left. It was kind of like a, you know, I really didn't know where it was, but I was going 70 mile an hour. That's all I knew. I was just trying to get away from that tornado as quick as possible. But the scary thing is you don't know really where it's going. You don't know how fast it's going. You don't know which direction it's going.
It could have been just chasing you the whole time.
Yeah, you have no idea. Like that was I think the scariest part is just not knowing how fast that thing was moving on the ground and like which direction it was going. I think that was the scariest part. Was just trying to like
outrun it.
Outrun it, yeah. And then afterwards.
Like when we did make it to safety.
DeGraff, yeah.
We still didn't have no cell service, like even outside of there. Like it was just people were trying to contact us and see if we were safe. We couldn't even contact them.
So like, yeah, the good thing is that we drove next to each other. That was the only way that we were gonna be like, okay, meet here or anywhere. The only reason that we met in DeGraff is because my Jeep, right before I left the house, my tank clicked and it was on E. So here I am, packed up, EF3 tornado coming, can't see anything, no gas. I mean, worst luck absolutely possible, but so I told him, I was like, we need to go to DeGraff, and then
we just camped out there and like recouped ourselves because we can't believe what just went on. Like, I don't know, I was like, what?
Yeah, the biggest thing was after that, like once we were in the safe spot, we were just glad that we were right next to each other to be able to communicate. I guess that's like the thing that I'm watching out for the most is like comms, like communication. It's like, you know, because once that stuff happens, your cell phone, that's one thing I was like, okay, I can't get back on YouTube or like radar or anything. I can't see anything that's going on. There's nothing.
Our radar, we don't know where the storm is heading or anything.
How has this changed your perspective, your outlook on the weather after going through all of that?
It could happen to anyone, honestly. Like the weather is just, it's changing. And I never thought I'd ever be in a tornado, and seeing like not just the devastation of what happened to our property, but just everything else. Like a tornado is no joke at all. Like everyone should have some sort of game plan for a tornado. Not only a tornado, just other natural disasters. Like weather's no joke.
For me, I take it a little bit more serious. Like I'm actively trying to learn how to read radar. It's something I've never done before. So just being able to read radar and tell, like, kind of like, you know, to be able to watch out for this pattern or whatever. And then again, like communications and finding like a designated safe place, you know, if a storm comes through here again, like where we're gonna go and like how we're gonna talk if somebody gets lost or whatever. I mean, it's just more about learning and doing a little bit more research on like being prepared if that were to ever happen again. So it has definitely opened up my mind to learning more about that stuff. I don't know, it's in a weird way, some people, like if they go through something like that, they'll be like, I never want to see it again. You know, they're like...
They completely just try to get away from it.
But for me, I'm like, I don't know, I'm watching like tornado videos and learning about radar and like, you know, trying to be more prepared in case that actually ever happens again. That way, you know, we have a plan and we can...
It's not.
Hey, you never know. You never know.